Welcome back, everyone. Today we are at Coral Cove Park, which is in Tequesta, Florida. What I was just trying to show you guys there was some of the signs that they have in the park. There are a lot of turtle nests here, and it is that time of the year, just like many other beaches in Florida where you're seeing a lot of turtles. So they're just making you aware, be careful of the turtles, not to disturb their nest. This is a beautiful walk onto the beach. Once we got out there, checking out the water temperature and the tides, and they're warning you about the rocks here at the beach. There are a lot of rocks down there and they can be kind of slippery, but that did not deter us from looking for shells. And if you want to see what we find, just keep watching. We were excited to get out onto the beach today and look for some shells, and we even find one of our bucket list shells. There were two sides to the beach here, one on either side of the rocks, and this first side had a lot of broken pieces. First shell that I picked up was the spectral bittersweet clam shell. I really like these little ones with the orange colors like that. A pretty big shell pile here, a lot of shells up on the shore. A lot of those clam shells, those arc shells, the ones that we typically see in the summer. There's a little crab. We saw a lot of those that day, a lot of little crab molts, and also maybe some dead crabs, unfortunately. Picked up a turkey wing here. Good sized turkey wing. Something orange caught my eye, and it's a little scallop shell. I always like finding them when they still have the bottom parts attached. Continuing our walk up the beach, also seeing a lot of slipper shells that day. Picked up another big scallop shell here. This one looks like it had been in the sand for a while. That's why it has that darker color. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, there are a lot of rocks here at this beach. They're all along the shoreline on one half of the beach. Typically, my boyfriend likes to go in the water and he will snorkel around and look for shells that way, and I'll do the walking on the beach. So we divide and conquer like that. Back onto the beach, picked up a piece of what looks like it was a huge light bulk. It's too bad. So I put it back. Found this little crab shell. Sometimes I'll take them home if I think they have some cool patterns or colors. And a kitten's paw. The ones that I found there that day were pretty worn down. They had been tumbling around for a while and then sitting on the beach. Well, it looks like they've seen some things. Next, I picked up this little button shell, and unfortunately the top part was broken off of it. Found another scallop. It's a beautiful orange color on that one. Spotted this worn down shell, and it looks like it was possibly a banded tulip or a tulip, and now it's pretty gray and beat up, so I left it there. Another scallop. And two of these little orange scallops. I'll take those home with me. This looks like a top of a cone, which we don't typically find on the east coast here. a Florida Atlantic prickly cockle. Right here I picked up what looks to me to be an eared arc, which they're not that common, but I have found a couple of them before, and I did see some more that day on the beach, taking a look at the ocean. Remind myself to look up every once in a while at what's going on. I found a dark seraph, and sometimes these can get me a little tripped up because the fly speck seraphs and the dark seraphs do look very similar. If you think it's something else, comment below. Looks like a piece of a tulip possibly, and another spectral bittersweet clam. Another one of those eared arc shells. Spotted something exciting. It's a lightning whelk. It is pretty worn down. It seems like it's been here for a while, so you can't really see those colors and those stripes super well. But I think it decided to take it home that day. There wasn't honestly too much going on shell-wise. Here I picked up a yellow cockle shell. You can see that yellow coloring inside of it. That is a lion's paw. Honestly, it was mostly whole, even though it is definitely dirty. Have to clean that. But I'm always happy when I can find a whole lion's paw because I usually don't. And another piece of a banded tulip. I wish I had actually found one that day, but I don't think that was going to be my day for banded tulips. This is a chestnut turban. That was a good size. Usually I'll find them a little bit smaller. This looks like a lace murex, or what's left of it. There's not a ton left in terms of the shell. Picking up some pieces here. Another one of those dark seraphs, possibly. Again, not too sure sometimes how to differentiate between them. I got excited and it's not whole. It's a shark eye, only the top half. A big spiny jewel box. Not many of those spines left since it's been rolling around over here on the East Coast, but it's a good size. Looking around here, giving you guys an idea of what the beach looks like today. A lot of those clamshells. Here's a brand new shell for me. I'd never found one before. I think this is a stout Tagulus clamshell. Decided to take it home since that was the first one I found of that. Picked up a piece of a lettered olive. Here's a POV of what I look like at the beach, doing my favorite activity, looking for shells. Another lion's paw. This one had the bottom broken off. It was a super dark color, had been sitting there for a while. And next to it was a kitten's paw. Right here I found this piece of coral, a coral branch, and I haven't found one like this before. It was super fragile, so I tried to be careful with it. Wow, here is one of my bucket list shells that I wanted to find. It is an Atlantic Distortio. That beautiful white color. Such an intricate shell. Needed to clean it off, but here's a good look at it. And I'm so excited that I found that. This is the first one that I've ever found. Next to it was another chestnut turban. A leafy jewel box. Very close to the spiny jewel box, but as you can see, it doesn't have those spines on it. Picked up this crossbarred Venus clam. Had this really gray, almost light purple color to it. And here's a lady in waiting Venus clam. I'm unsure what these little shells are. I do see them a lot. It's either an elegant Dosinia or another kind of clamshell. If you know, comment down below what it is. Here I picked up a pretty beat up Murex shell. Could have been a lace, could have been apple, pitted Murex, but now I'm not too sure what it is. There is another lightning whelk, similar to that first one that I found. This one had a hole in it, so I decided to just leave it on the beach. Hoping that this is whole, and it is. A little shark eye moon snail. One of the smallest ones that I've ever found. Sereth. This one has definitely been eaten by some worm snails, and you can tell because of all those cutouts, those little pits in it. This is a keyhole limpet. Like I said before, this beach has a bunch of rocks and these rock pools that are kind of dividing the beach in two. One that has a lot more rocks on one side, and another part of the beach where we were able to find a lot of shells. But I'll just let you enjoy some of the ocean. Found a spiny jewel box in this little tide pool here. And that looks like an apple Murex, but it is broken, so we'll just put that back. Checking around in this tide pool to see if there's anything good. Found another scallop shell. Picked up another keyhole limpet. This one was a lot more worn down than the other one, but I like seeing the different colors that they have. Like comparing these two. Saw a piece of coral. I'll pick these up every once in a while and bring them home. Going along here, checking out the shells on the beach, found a big oyster shell, and like you can see, there's a lot of clam shells, a lot of arcs and slipper shells. That's one of those clam shells, again one of those Jacinias, and there's a mossy arc, one of the jingle shells. See the little baby foot there. Another crossbarred Venus clam. I saw something green here, and it was a shark eye moon snail, but it's pretty broken and looks like it's been sitting out here for a while. It's too bad. The last shell of the day was a spectral bittersweet clam. At the end here, I was trying to show that they have these buckets that you can take with you onto the beach if you want to do some cleaning up while you're there. Maybe we'll do that next time. And we're saying goodbye to the beach here. Here's our haul for today. All the shells that we ended up finding and a bucket list shell. I have some coral, a couple of lion's paws, found that lightning whelk and that murex, some limpets, some lettered olives, also a piece of a full graded olive. It's too bad that it was broken. Bittersweet clams, some turkey wings, a bunch of chestnut turbans, that shark eye, some jingles, some serrets, a bunch of scallop shells that day, augurs, those cockle shells, the spiny jewel box, the leafy jewel box, some arcs and clam shells there. Found a couple of kitten paws, and the best shell of all, the Atlantic Distortio. I was so excited to find this shell and add it to my bucket list shell collection.